Today on Rappler, 5 people are dead and at least 5 injured after Mayon Volcano spews rocks and steam. International observers will go to 6 areas in the Philippines to watch the elections.
And if we will limit it only to 100,000 each, it will be very difficult to withdraw millions of pesos.
And the Commission on Elections imposes what it calls a money ban to fight vote buying.
Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. 5 mountain climbers die after Mayon Volcano spews rocks and steam in a phreatic explosion early Tuesday. In a television interview, Albay Governor Joey Salceda says the 5 died after being hit by rocks cascading down the slopes of the mountain. 4 were Germans, while 1 was a Filipino tour guide. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reports at least 5 climbers were also injured. NDRRMC Executive Director Eduardo Del Rosario says there were 3 groups of climbers going up the volcano when it happened. In its official advisory, FIVOC says the volcano produced a small phreatic event that lasted about 73 seconds. A phreatic explosion is caused by the heating of water by the magma underneath the volcano's crater, sending steam, water, and volcanic material out. The agency says the alert level for the volcano is still at 0, which means no eruption is imminent. The Albay local government suspends all activity within the volcano's permanent danger zone, which extends 6 kilometers out from the crater area of the volcano. The Compact for Peaceful Democratic Elections deploys 30 international observers to watch the 2013 polls. Compact's national coordinator Arnold Tarobago says viewers from 16 countries will be dispatched in 6 areas for the 10-day mission. Tarobago says the observers will monitor, quote, iconic electoral contests between those that proclaim to be on the side of reforms and those that are widely associated with traditional patronage politics. The team specifically want to observe several electoral battles like that of ARMM officer in charge Mujib Hataman and Pax Magundadatu. The International Observers Mission contingent will be sent out to Cagayan, Pampanga, Camarines Sur, Masbate, Cebu, and ARMM. In an unprecedented move to curb vote buying, the Commission on Elections will control the, quote, unusual withdrawal of cash close to Election Day. From Wednesday until Election Day, COMELEC will limit cash withdrawals to 100,000 pesos. The new COMELEC resolution also prohibits the transportation of cash exceeding 500,000 pesos or its equivalent in any foreign currency. Brillantes says trade and industry will not be affected because the resolution only covers cash withdrawals.
Regulating here is we're trying to prevent the circulation of cash.
Which can be used for what?
Which can be used for vote buying. And if we will limit it only to 100,000 each, it will be very difficult to withdraw millions of pesos.
100,000 pesos is roughly about $2,000. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas says the rule may constitute, quote, a restraint of trade and a violation of bank secrecy. But Brillantes defends COMELEC resolution.
Hindi naman maapektuhan ang commerce. Our position is commerce, trade will not be affected. Hindi hulihan to. Wala kang mahuhuli. More on deterrent. Again,
the COMELEC uses the powers given by the Constitution to, quote, deputize law enforcement agencies and instrumentalities of the government for the exclusive purpose of ensuring free, orderly, honest, peaceful, and credible elections. The Catholic Charismatic El Shaddai movement completes the list of senatorial candidates it supports by picking Team Pinoy candidates June Magsaysay and Bam Aquino. El Shaddai founder Brother Mike Velarde says Magsaysay meets his organization's 3C criteria: commitment, conscience, and competence. Magsaysay accepts the endorsement. He says, quote, it's a very significant strength added to our legions of supporters all over the country. El Shaddai is the lead group in the white vote movement. They earlier endorsed senatorial bets based on a set of standards called LASER, or Lifestyle, Action, Supporters, Election, Activities, and Reputation. The 10 candidates are J.V. Ejercito, Gregorio Onasan, Mitos Magsaysay, Cynthia Villar, Antonio Trillanes IV, Coco Pimentel, Nancy Binay, Richard Gordon, Marwil Yelasos, and Miguel Zubiri. Here's a quick wrap of the latest election news all over the country 6 days before Election Day. In Tarlac, the daughter of slain San Jose mayoral candidate Rudy Abella will run for the position in place of her father. Lalaine Abella files her certificate of candidacy Tuesday, a day after armed men on motorcycles shot and killed her father. A Facebook page set up by his family says Rudy Abella was shot 5 times. Abella, a former barangay captain, was running against re-electionist Mayor Jose Yap of the Nationalist People's Coalition. In Cabanatuan, re-electionist Mayor Julius Vergara and his armed men allegedly assaulted a local TV crew on April 27th. In a report released Monday, the National Union of Journalists says the crew was harassed while shooting video footage of Vergara. The cameramen are from Station TV 48, owned by Vergara's mayoral rival, Anthony Umali. In Llano del Norte, the Supreme Court disqualifies re-electionist Causwagan Mayor Romel Arnado from running for any local position because of his continued use of his U.S. passport even after he claimed to have renounced his American citizenship. The court, voting 10-5, also declares Kasan Makiling, Arnaldo's rival in the May 2010 polls, the new mayor of Causwagan. In Cagayan de Oro, acting COMELEC election officer in Palamin orders the Office of the City Treasurer to do a re-inventory of election materials. 3 City Hall employees allegedly took out the boxes from the Treasurer's office where other election paraphernalia were stored. Acting City Treasurer Marilyn Legaspi says her office is open for all to see. She adds, quote, "The only way we can erase all doubts is through an inventory." In Samar, 2 members of the Tan political dynasty are delisted from the voters list because they're not bona fide voters in their registered election areas. Arnold Tan is running for congressman of the 1st District of Samar, while Angeli Tan is running for mayor of Calbayog City. The regional trial court ruling effectively disqualifies them from their respective races. China sends one of its largest fishing fleets to disputed islands in the South China Sea. The China Daily says a fleet of 30 fishing vessels set sail on Monday for the Spratly Islands. The Spratly Islands is an archipelago disputed between China and other countries, including the Philippines and Vietnam. The report says the fleet left China's southern province of Hainan for a 40-day trip. It includes 2 large transport and supply ships. China and neighboring countries have long used fishing fleets and maritime patrols to assert their territorial claims. The waters around the Spratlys are rich in fishing resources and are believed to hold large oil and gas reserves. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, Malaysian opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim calls for a rally to protest what he calls, quote, "the worst electoral fraud in our history." Anwar lost to Prime Minister Najib Razak, who sworn in for a second term Monday after his 56-year-old ruling coalition retained power. Anwar says he hoped the recent polls would result in a historic change of government. At number 9, 82-year-old Nepalese Min Bahadur Sherchan will defend his title as the oldest person to reach the peak of Mount Everest against an 80-year-old Japanese competitor. Sherchan's record for scaling Everest at 76 is being challenged by Yuichiro Miura of Japan, who is already on his way up the mountain. The company organizing Sherchan's expedition says the campaign aims to generate awareness about the strength of the elderly. And at number 10, Twitter is hiring a head of news in a bid to be more indispensable to global media. To be more indispensable to global media. But The Guardian's Michael Wolff asks, will it work? The job description considers the microblogging site as both the front and back end of news, the first responder and eyes on the ground. Wolff says the best bet to fill the position is someone, quote, seasoned enough to have worked for an actual news organization, but astute enough to have migrated into the new news space. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Manny Pacquiao looks to redeem himself as he climbs the ring for the first time after his 2 straight losses in 2012. Sports network ESPN reports Pacquiao will face Brandon Rios at the Cotai Arena at the Venetian Macau Resort Hotel on November 24. Top-ranked promoter Bob Arum says both fighters agreed to terms and contracts are being finalized. They will fight at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds. Arum says, quote, people want to see a real fight, and this is what you get with Rios. Pacquiao's advisor, Michael Conk, says Rios was chosen after Juan Manuel Marquez and Timothy Bradley turned down offers to fight Pacquiao. Marquez and Bradley chose to fight each other instead. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page that crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories with the most votes on their mood meter. These are the stories that affected our Filipino viewers and readers in the last 24 hours. If we take a look today, there are a lot of election stories here now. The strange story of Lawrence Sal ends. You have 40% inspired, 28% annoyed, 8% happy and angry. DZMM bears Iglesia ni Cristo vote for Senator, 54% angry. Chris Aquino, sa 2016, dapat manalo ako, 59% annoyed. And the story that's gotten the most number of votes on the mood meter, Nancy Binay says, I am a blacker Chris Aquino, 78% annoyed. That's leading to the mood of the day. Today, most people are annoyed 6 days before Election Day. Well, that is Rappler's newscast for today, Tuesday, May 7th, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.